Alright, second case today. Remember, it's 3 cases today, and I have a case on the shelf that I may or may not open, depending on how much I'm enjoying opening the other cases, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. Just let me, oh, sorry guys. Let's just move that camera a little bit closer so we can get a good view. Yeah, so I'm just on lunch, and obviously, you know, I have a bit of time to take lunch because I had a late breakfast, so I'm just going to take a little bit of a lunch break before going back to work. And obviously that gives me time. How's that looking? It's looking good to me. So start off with a Rise Up and an Erase Face. That's a good pack 1 hit. If you haven't been paying attention, Erase Face is the neutral generic Majestic. When it hits a hero, cards and tokens lose all class and talent types until the end of their next turn. Now, that means your ninja cards are no longer ninja, your draconic cards are no longer draconic, your earth cards are no longer earth. Ooh, dust up red, that's going to be useful. Oh, there's a cold foil. Ooh, burn them all. Okay, that's a nice start. I don't think this one is going to be as rare as some of the Marvels and stuff, but it is actually a very good card in Dromai, so I wouldn't be surprised to see people wanting playsets of this. You can see how good that looks from the lighting. I have really good lighting at the moment for my cards. Despite the fact that my last video, what looks better? Does it look better? No, I think it looks better under a brighter light. Despite the fact that my last video uploaded in SD and not HD, which was very annoying. I hit Premiere before I let it process, so I was feeling a bit silly when it came up on the screen and it was just really bad quality. So that's not great. Necria. So this is what I mean. The foiling on these cards just keeps getting better and better. Like Sigil of Permafrost, will it see play? I think so. But just look at the foiling on that. People just put a lot of love into that. So last case we got a cold foil Crown of Providence. We're gonna have to see. Ooh, Tome of Firebrand. I need 2 more of those, so that's off to a good start on the tomes at least. Fienda's Spiting Spirit. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. I have heard some people opening some terrible cases, so remember, if you're not really a fan of opening cases, don't feel like you need to. Singles are always going to be the best way to get the cards you want from the decks you know you want to build. Obviously, if you want the spicier cards, you do have to pay. There is another cold foil in here. So let's not rush just there. So we've got a regular old Stoke the Flames. There is another cold foil in here. It is not an equipment. It's a Phoenix Flame. Oh, gorgeous. I need at least one of these. I'm going to have one of these that I never shuffle into my deck. But let's look at the foiling on that. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have one of these I never shuffle into my deck. So it's just going to sit in, you know, because it's Phi, it's just going to sit outside my deck, probably in a case, and I'm just going to put it into play. Because it just goes into your graveyard straight away. The only thing to note about that is that there's going to be times when you might really want to pitch it. So I might not have it in a case, I might just have it in a sleeve, but, you know, just, it's not going to get as messed up as something might, because it will never be shuffled, which is good to know. Rise to the Ashes, Evoke Uvia. Ooh, Rainbow Foil Uprising, that's nice. That's very nice. Anything spice? No. But Rainbow Foil Uprising, that's a bit spicy. Uprising, I don't know if it's a very good card, to be honest. It's one of those ones that's like, yes, it's theoretically a 0 for 4 that blocks 3, which is quite good with Go Again. The problem is that by playing the card itself, you make it harder to reach 4 Chainlinks, which is, you know, the whole point is that you have to attack 4 times for it to be a 0 for 4. But I guess if you attack 3 times, it's not so terrible. I'm just not sure, because it doesn't help you get to where you need to be. Anyway, we're doing well for this box so far. 2 Cold Foil Majestics. Burn them all, which is going to be a reasonable chase card, and the Phoenix card, which I think is somewhat rare. And it's our Marvel. So last case, it took us 4 boxes to reach a Marvel, and now we've got one in the first. I do think it is one of the more common Marvels, so we're not going to, you know, toot our own horn that much. I would like the Draconic Ash, though. That would be a pretty nice one. Ooh, There is a backwards card here. It's not a what we want, but that's okay. All right. It's very interesting to see how much ether darts and things like that get played. Ether darts, the 0 for 3. But the important thing that makes it better than like a zap or something like that. Look at the art. Look at the foiling on that. The thing that makes it better than a zap is that it can target any target, which means that, like, you know, if you need to kill dragons, it's not a bad idea to just run something like that, because you can play an ether dart from your arsenal. You can zap a dragon with the blue one, and then you can just, you know, hit them with the weapon, and you're kind of good. Combustion point, it's not bad. No cold foil in there. I really need, so I've got 2 of the wizard legendary now. It would be good to get something else. Those don't belong in there. It would be good to get something else. So Rise from the Ashes, red foil. The art of this is amazing. I will have a playmat of that very soon. Oh, there's another Marvel. Oh, it's the Marvel Necria. I'm not the biggest fan of the Necria art. I feel like it doesn't necessarily cold foil very well, but they've cold foiled all the skeletons and bones in her, which is quite nice. I do wonder about how good the ability is, but I think you do need Ash Generation, so she might actually just work as sort of like a slow burn Ash Generation deck. You know, more defensive than not. Insidious Chill, need those. Arctic Incarceration red is like, maybe, I don't know if it's very good. On your turn, it kind of gives them 3 frostbites, which isn't bad, and it does turn on the weapon, but I don't know how good that's going to work out versus just playing the blue version, which generates 2 frostbites and does more damage, if that makes sense. Like, so you get one more frostbite if you play it on your turn, and of course it gives you something to do on your turn, but you'd be better off just playing something that might generate some damage, you know. Read the Ripples, Dragons of Legend. 3 packs left. I'm kind of already happy with this box, so if I don't get anything else, I think I'll be satisfied, but obviously there's still a lot of cards I need from this set, so, you know, we're not going to complain if I get something else that I can play. I've got 3 out of 6 legendaries now, so obviously I still need the Fabled and another 3 legendaries, and then we'll be set. And hopefully I get enough of them or cards I can trade for them from my packs, because that's what the whole point of buying the packs is. Oh, perfect. That's an Invoked Dominia, which is the last of the legendary dragons I'm missing. So actually that's really good. So I've got a playset of all of my legendary dragons now. Yeah. No extra cold foil spice in this box. But we did get a Phoenix form, which is definitely a card I need. So yeah, that's actually not bad. So we'll run through the Majestics in a second. Just let me get some of this paper cleaned up. Let me get some of this paper cleaned up indeed, because these packs are really good, but you do, you know, part of them being recyclable is you do have to then go and recycle them. You know, you can't just throw them away. You put them in the box and keep track of them, and, you know, make sure they're all going to the right places. Anyway, so this is case number 2. I'm opening 3 cases, which I know is a lot, but and I kind of said after the last set I wouldn't do as many. But ultimately, what won me over is the fact that I play Wizard, I play Illusionist, I play Ninja, so, you know, this set literally has everything for me in it. You know, which is, it's just tricky to avoid when, like, you're thinking, what classes do I play, and then this has cards for all of them. It's the same problem with the supplemental set. You don't want to buy much of it, but then actually, you know, you kind of need to buy a fair bit to get the cards you need. And once you add in something like Marvels and stuff like that, there are benefits to opening a product like this if you can get good hits. You know, the more the collectible these cards are, the more you know, people might pay for them. So actually, wait 1 second. This is a new box, so let's just sort this out first. So Phoenix Flame, Vote Domina, Rise from the Ashes is a rare. So that's 6 Majestics and 1 Rainbow Foil Majestic. 7 Majestics and 1 Rainbow Foil Majestic. Some good ones there. Erase Face is very good. And of course, Burn Them All, Phoenix Flame, and Necria. Let's put those all off to the side. We'll go back over them once we've cleaned up the other boxes and we can see what we think about the pulls. Where were we here? So we got a Rewind, an Engulfing Flame Wave, and nothing spicy in the back. New pack is Themi. We like a bit of Themi. I think I've got play sets of those now. A little bit of a cracked bauble. Sound kind of like a woodpecker sometimes. Anyway, right. Where are we? Transmogrify, Sift, Ice Eternal foil. It's definitely nice to get the Ice Eternal foils. They look really nice. And also, you know, I quite like Jaina. And obviously, you know, Icelander is giving off some mad Jaina energy. So that's not so bad. Flex, another Themi. Blue Sigil of Protection is not seeing play anytime soon, but that's okay. I'm not playing something that gives me Ward 2. Defensive things should come in 4s. Mounting Anger. Vipox, okay, not the best. Red Brothers in Arms is actually decent. Like, it's a 1-cost defense reaction that blocks for 4, while also being a popper, so it's actually not terrible to include. And there we go. So, Mounting Anger, Transmogrify, Brand with Cinderclaw. You might actually end up playing Brand with Cinderclaw in all the colours. It's just a 0 for 2, 0 for 1. But the thing that it does is if you're running stuff like Belittle or you want to play Kodachis, it's actually a very flexible card. It gives your next... It gives your next attack Draconic, basically, if it doesn't already have it. And what that does for Fi is actually give you more flexibility to run some good cards that aren't that. Okay, we have Red Skittery Sands foil. That's quite nice because the red one is going to see play. I've already got 3 of the Red Skittery Sands and foils, so, you know, Dromai foil decks are coming along. Frost Hex, good. I think that's my 3rd Frost Hex, actually. No cold foil Frost Hexes for me yet, but, you know, that's all right. This is our casual PSA, just to remind people that you can like and subscribe to this video if you enjoy my content. I get a great enjoyment from seeing that subscriber number go up. We're almost at 1,200 people, I think. It would be good to get across that milestone. Spreading the Flames extended art. Look at that. I personally am not always the biggest fan of the extended arts. They do. I think the text box is just not transparent enough. And also, like, there's nothing going on here, right? There's a reason that art cuts off there, is that there's nothing going on there. I think these cards work best when there's like some sort of Easter egg or something happening down there. Like on Knick Knack Bric-a-Brac, for example, his cat is in this box below, and that's kind of fun. But it's like, no, you know, it's like, I don't know. They look nice, but I think it's a lot of, it's not necessarily like there's missing bits from that dead. Ooh, Billow Mirage looks great in foil. Insidious Chill, that's going to be a useful control card. Like, you think about Insidious Chill, it's not just Insidious Chill, right? If I set up a board that has like 3 Insidious Chill and some Ice Amulets, then, because remember what this does is when you fuse, target hero discards a card unless they pay 2. If I have Ice Amulets on the table and Insidious Chill, then one fuse is going to get me so much control. And if I couple that with something that does damage, you're not going to be able to block it. There's Combustion Point, my 2nd Combustion Point, which I need, so I just need 1 more now. And then I've got that playset. Remember, this is entirely just about playsets for me. I mean, I want some spice as well. Ooh, a Rainbow 4 Tome of Duplicity. It looks gorgeous. Is the card any good? I personally don't think so, but someone will find a way to break it. That is the rule with things that opt. Look at the top card of your deck and give you access to that card. If someone can find a way to break it, they will. It's just that kind of effect, you know. It's good enough to be broken. Kyloria, Rate the Embers Blue. I could see myself running Rate the Embers Blue. Ooh, and that is a Cold Foil Spellfire Cloak. This is, again, I was talking about some of the Cold Foil commons that I think take the place of legendaries in Blitz. And this is one of them. You know, it just, the ability to generate one resource on your opponent's turn is what most people are using stuff like Tunic for anyway. So actually, this is just a really nice effect. It's also gorgeous, so that really does help. It really, really does help that it's so gorgeous. So. Strategic planning, dampening. Succumb to winter looks all right. We may have seen the spice for this box, though. We have 4 packets left. So far, we're on 2 marvels. We're on one cold foil equipment. You know, that's not so bad. We're doing all right. We're not going to top the first box I pulled in my last case, which was, of course, a double legendary box with a cold foil legendary and a rainbow foil. But, you know, there's still time. Why is there a foil in that pile? Okay, Fog Down. Fog Down is not bad. We're actually doing quite well on Majestics, this box. Oh, just when I thought we were running out of spice, we get a Kyloria. And this is one of the best dragons, because it's basically Snatch on a stick, right? You get to steal someone's items, which is really good against someone like Icelander or Lexi, and people who are setting up. And you get to draw a card if they don't have one. It's actually really, really good. So have a gander at that. Let's take it out of the sleeve again for a second, so you guys can have a nice proper look. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Like, the gold on this foiling is literally perfect, and it's really nice. It's really, really nice. Yeah, so that's 2 Majestics and 2 boxes. We're definitely above rate now. Which is good. Usually it's 1 Majestic per 2 boxes from what we've seen so far. Ooh, a Dominia. Excellent. Okay, so that's my second Dominia. So that one is up for trade. That's good. I can trade that to someone today. Which is good. So I've got a playset of all my legendary dragons, which is going to be handy. I don't think they're going to be that hard to get. They will be short printed because typically all of the cards that are legendary are short printed, but you know, that's all right. Give people that ability to get something for them, even though you only need 1 playset. I do think Dominia, I don't know which one's the best. Dominia is pretty good. You know, it's a 4 for 4, which is not great, but it gives the ability, if you reveal a red card, to look at your opponent's hand and banish a card, which is genuinely a bit disgusting, actually. That's a Rainbow Foil Sash of Sandakai. I think that's going to be a great card, to be honest. Again, one of the commons that really does the job of Tunic in Blitz, but at a speed which people can appreciate, and at a price point which new players can appreciate for sure. A Rise Headlong foil, gorgeous foil, not disappointed by that. So that box was actually pretty fire in the end. I thought it was going to be a bit lukewarm, but it ended up sort of coming through. Especially after the first box, you kind of think, like, how much spice does this case have left? Anyway, let me tidy away some of these commons, and then we'll get on to the third box. You know, I'm not Fluke. Unfortunately, I only have 3 cases to open, 16 boxes. But that being said, it does look like I'm doing reasonably well. I watched all of Fluke's stream yesterday, and he opened 44 boxes, which was madness. Glorious, glorious madness. And, you know, he pulled 2 Rainbow Foil Fables, and he pulled 2 Rainbow Foil Fables, 1 Cold Foil Icelander, 3 Phoenix Flames, 1 Draconic Ash token, and about like 18 rare dragons in 44 boxes. So the Marvel rate was like 1 per 2 boxes, and he pulled, I think, 14 legendaries, 2 cold foils, 12 regulars. So in 44 boxes, he pulled just over a legendary every 4 boxes. He pulled, you know, plenty of Majestics. This is the second Rainbow Foil Tome of Duplicity. Oh, we haven't tidied up again. Sorry, guys. I'm getting ahead of myself in my eagerness to open boxes. So let's just have a quick review. So this box was Rainbow Foil Tome of Duplicity, Kyloria, Spellfire Cloak, Dominia, Combustion Point, Stoke the Flames EA, Frost Hex, Vipox, Rewind, Fog Down. So, yeah, still not a bad case. Stuff like Fog Down is just such a good, like, let's just have a look at that. It's just such a good meta card. It blocks for 3, so you don't mind running it anyway. And if you play it against, you know, a Rune Blade or something like that, it's just so impactful on their turn. Even against like someone like Drobai, it's very impactful. So yeah, so this pack, let's return to it. It's another Rainbow 4 Tome of Duplicity. So keep an eye out. If this box is the same as the last box, that would be hilarious. I don't think it will be, but if it is, that will be hilarious. It's always this spice. So you open the pack upside down. This card could be a Majestic. It's not. It's a Phoenix Flame, but that's okay. The point is, every time you open a pack and you see an upside down card, it could be a cold foil. Except, I guess, the thing is there's loads of Marvels in the set, so if you open the pack upside down, it could just be anything else. Rise from the Ashes. Okay, still no Legendary. That's what we're hoping for. Hoping for that Legendary spice, because I still need some. Double Phoenix Flame pack. They like to bait you. They like to bait you. They give you 2 face down cards and they try and tell you that it's could be something else. Am I not on camera again? I am. Cool, perfect. Flex. Ooh, Rainbow 4 Conduit of Frostburn. That's gorgeous. These Rainbow 4 equipments, they usually go for like £5, so they're not like terrible. Especially if people are playing them, they usually do actually go for like £4 or £5 because people like Rainbow foil equipments. They just look nice. And they're not a bank-breaking upgrade to the deck. If you have common equipment, there's no point just not paying that $5 getting the rainbow foils, right? I mean, ooh, Oasis Respite. This is gorgeous art, by the way, by Mateusz Winozuski. I think he's the guy who did Emeritus Scolding. His art is generally fantastic, and I've also met the guy. He is really lovely. He was his stand was set up near the streaming table at Krakow. So we were talking on and off throughout the whole weekend, and he gave me a piece of art to take home with me, and stuff like that. Another Fog Down that's really good, actually. Getting these generic Majestics is really good because those are going to be the chase cards, and if you get spares of them, it actually works out really well for you in the end. Ice Eternal. Vipox, I don't think this generic is going to be worth anything. Just chucking that out there. I think Vipox is the candidate for the least good card, but that's okay. But Brothers in Arms Red, again, going to be playable, I think. It's a popper. A lot of classes, like, people underestimate how much people are going to need poppers, I think, versus, like, Drobai and Prism. Drobai, especially, is shut down quite heavily by poppers and doesn't really have something like Footsteps to deal with them. So running more poppers versus Drobai is actually a pretty solid shout. And, kind of gives you that option for, to just shut down their turns if they're coming in hard. The only thing is that they'll be attacking quite a lot with a... So this is actually quite a rare card. It has quite a high drop rate. And a cold foil of the same pack. Oh my. We are on the spice wagon. So cold foil Spellfire Cloak. That's a bit disappointing because I did get one in the last box. And some of the other Majestics are looking kind of similar. So it's a bit funny, actually. We got a Rewind as well. And a Vipox. So, and a Tome of Duplicity. And a Fog Down. So we're going to compare these two piles at the end, and maybe just every time they put a Rewind in, it has a chance to be a Rewind reverse. So people who haven't seen this card, this is Rewind, but the art is upside down and the text is backwards. It's actually quite a rare drop. It feels like every time Rewind goes into a pack, it has a chance to be this instead of regular. And yeah, it's just quite rare. Okay, another Tome of Duplicity. Again, I've got a playset of those now. I don't know that I wanted a playset, but I guess I'm taking it. Necria, Searing Touch looks pretty good. So I got my cold foil. Another common. I'm going to get cold foil commons most of the time, so you kind of have to just be kind of used to that, right? I mean, don't get too worked up about it. Just enjoy the fact that they're a little bit shinier and they're a little bit newer, and see where that takes you. Mounting Anger, Brother in Arms. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, after that first box, everything... It's the same with the last case I opened as well. After that first box, everything kind of just went... You know, it's like, how do I compete with that? Ooh, Uprising, good. Need another one of those. I always keep all my rares, my foils. Especially since that latest ruling where it's like marked foils count as being marked. And I'm like, well, okay, but how much of my deck needs to be foiled for the other cards to not count as marked? In case is quite good. Like if 50% of my deck is foiled and there's no pattern to it, does that random Fable that's foiled count as marked? You know, it's kind of like a big question. I think LSS kind of need to clarify. Because as it is, we're currently heading towards a trajectory where professional players aren't going to run any cold foil. For fuck's sake. I ruined this pack for myself. Am I on camera? Can you guys see that? Maybe I won't ruin it for any of you guys. See, if I open the pack backwards, then I can see exactly what it is. Okay, so a Mirage Eye, Embermore Setup Eye, and then right there at the back, we have the Tumultai, 2 Melty, Cold Foil. I personally am not the biggest fan of the art for this card, but the way that the Cold Foil reframes it actually makes it look much, much better. So yeah, that's going to go in. And remember that this is a Marvel dragon, so it's a lot rarer than the rare one that I opened before. So it's just a bit spicier. So far this box has actually been pretty lit. Coupled with my last box, I'm actually doing quite well. So that's a relief, because I have had sets where I've opened pretty badly. So maybe this time was my time to get a good run, as they say. Rise from the ashes, burn away. I don't know. We've still got one box left, but after what we've opened so far, I don't know how much spice is going to be in there. If we get a legendary now, then this is pretty much like one of the best cases I've ever opened. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, if we get a legendary, I think this is one of the best cases I've ever opened. Obviously, Fableds make everything better, but it's, you know, we reached the point where I don't really count the Fabled because, like, they're just so rare. It's like, why? Like, you can't... If you get one, obviously, it saves your box, but whereas I keep talking about the fact that I'm likely to pull a legendary in the next box, I don't ever think, oh, I might get a Fabled now, because, you know, that way just lies confusion, you know. You can't see, but I'm chucking all of the Uprising booster packs into the box that my cases came in, because it is going in the recycling, and I will be recycling these packs because that's what they were made to do. So you know, zero confusion there. They just need to go to recycling. These paper packs, I'm so glad that we are using them again, to be honest. I think they're just such a good idea, especially if they are actually recyclable. I mean, I know there's a lot of things that are marked as recyclable that end up not being recyclable in your local area, but if they actually are recyclable, that will genuinely be pretty huge. I mean, it's just huge for the industry, right? You kind of need to do something about all the plastic waste that's being generated by the millions of booster packs that are being opened every year. Not just in Flesh and Blood, but, you know, just in general. All right. Okay, last box. We're already doing pretty well. Let's just review what we got in that last pack. We got 5 non-foil Majestics, which is not amazing. Uprising, Tome of Duplicity, Fog Down is pretty good. Encase is pretty good. We got a Backwards Rewind, a Cold Foil Spellfire Cloak, a Tome of Duplicity Rainbow Foil, second one, and a 2 Melty thing. I wonder how I guess they grade this side, and that is actually perfectly aligned. So again, like my Crown of Providence, we have actually a pretty good grading candidate there. So we'll have to see. I'm probably not getting those graded, but you can. I mean, they changed the rules so that basically your deck can contain one of the regular ones of these, and you can keep this on the side, and that won't count as an illegal deck. Because remember, normally you can't have cards that aren't in your deck box, but they've kind of ruled that if you have, say, one of these on the side in cold foil and one in your deck of the regular, then you're allowed to include that. You're also allowed to include the token card as long as you have the cheat sheet basically next to you. And it works because this is basically a cheat sheet for everything that other card does. So you just have to have that with you, and you can show your opponent exactly what it does. And then it doesn't really matter if you have a different version in your deck. Red Rise from the Ashes, that's perfect. Going to get all of those arts to match the playmat that I'm going to get soon. I know I'm pretty confident I'm going to get one of those. It's just because I'm going to give it to myself because... I have this thing with my local community where I do all of the tournament organizing, and every so often, and they're just like, you haven't given yourself anything for this TOing that you do all the time. You should take a playmat. And I'm just like, I'm not going to take it. I'm just like, can we just wait a minute? And I'm like, I'm going to wait. Like, so every like 6 or 7 or 8 months, I take a playmat. And the people in my community are quite happy because they think I've been given something for all the tournament organizing I do for them. So we've kind of got a pretty comfortable... Remember there, a second backwards rewind. Interesting. Okay, I think this is actually going to be a collector's piece because it is kind of like... I don't think it's going to be super expensive. I don't think they're going to be super rare. But I do think it is going to be a collector's piece because it's just fun. It's fun. Like, the art goes backwards. Everything's backwards. Ooh, double strike. Excellent. You know, and it's just kind of nice in a way that's not like... It's very subtle. But it's also just kind of really, really cool. And I think a lot of people are going to... Because remember, nerds have weird brains. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy owning those. I mean, also, some nerds have weird brains and are really going to hate that card. But, you know, that is the way that it is. Oh, another Rainbow Foil Ice Eternal. Don't mind if I do. Doesn't come in any colours except blue, by the way. For those of you thinking, oh, that's a rare, it probably comes in red. It does not come in red. It's a one rarity card. Duskrunner Outlaw. I suspect the spice is gone from this case, but you know, they're always spicier when you say that and then it happens. That's when it gets really spicy. Rise from the Ashes, Rise Up. Dromai. Rise from the Ashes is a card I really like. I know I've seen a lot of Phi decks not running it because they don't want to have to rely on getting more than one Phoenix Flame. But what I will say is that like it is a very efficient card for recycling resources because it's a buff that goes onto a card that you take back for free. So it's basically like playing 2 cards, non-attack action, attack action, which isn't so relevant for 5, but the fact that it gives you the Phoenix Flame, you know, and then that turns on all of your Phoenix Flame synergy is actually very good. Oh, there's a Frightmare. Not really a fan of Frightmare, to be honest. I've seen people get it off, but I don't like the art. I find it freaky, which is, I know, part of the idea, but, you know. Oh, there's a Quelling Sleeve Rainbow Foil. Looks absolutely gorgeous. And in the same pack, we have a Quelling Robe Cold Foil. Look at that art, guys. That is absolutely gorgeous. To be fair, they both look pretty good. Yeah, the art from this set, especially with stuff like this, which is, you know, maybe not going to see play, but, you know, Quell is actually quite a good effect, I think, to be honest. I think Quell is actually quite a good effect. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually there's a deck running it. You know, you could see a blue heavy deck just triggering Quell once every couple of turns and then just pitching their whole hand to block multiple sources of damage, right? Because how much, like, you don't need Arcane Barrier necessarily every turn, right? But, you know, if you're sitting there and you know, your opponent has played, what's it called? Revel in Runeblood, and then you're using Quell to block not only the damage from the Rune Chants, but because you can block one from every source, but also the damage from Rosetta, the damage from, you know, you have a lot of options there to block damage with Quell. And you kind of have to answer, like, how many turns are you actually using Arcane Barrier, right? Because some of the decks that are very aggressive aren't actually coming in consistently. They're not coming in every turn. Jesus Christ. My luck, right? My luck. What is this Marvel luck? That is Uvia. This is the one that turns eggs into dragons. But is that like my 4th Marvel from this box case? Like, and one of them is a Majestic, and one of them is a really rare token. We're doing well, everyone. That's what we're doing. Have a look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Oasis Best Sprite Red, the one that's going to see play. It's genuinely a fantastic card. Because remember, if you're the defensive hero in the game, you have likely taken damage and not dealt as much. So gaining 1 life in that situation is actually very effective. Alright, 4 packs left to get a legendary before I'm a sad panda. Well, not sad, because, you know, we've seen how good this base case has been to me. So I can't really complain if I don't get one. But, you know, it would really be the icing on the cake. Every time I say pandas now, I think about my preview card that I had Photoshopped to add pandas into it. And how much people liked the panda edit. We're calling it the panda edit. That is my plan for all of my preview cards, by the way. I kind of said it to LSS when they started giving me preview cards, that I kind of like to edit bears in funny ways. And they were like, that's fine. So, you know, because the thing is, I will obviously release the real art sooner or later after I do my joke. And then I will do the, you know, the preview card. Okay, so no legendary in this case, which is unfortunate. But I really think I probably can't complain too loudly or my friends will beat me up. So, yeah. So one more case to do. I obviously have some legendaries now for trade. I also have some of my older cards that people want. Like someone wants a cold foil Rhinar from me. Adult Rhinar, which I expect will be able to get me a lot of legendaries. I do like sometimes to collect these things, but I genuinely don't mind if I trade like a collectible for a load of playables from a new set. That just seems like a win to me, because you're getting something you actually need rather than something that looks shiny. Anyway, so that's the case. Let's just review the pulls, and then I'll start to sort of tidy things away. Then I need to get all of my Majestics in the folders so that I can figure out what I have to trade this evening. So box 4, if we just review that, box 4 is 5 regular Majestics. So Take the Tempo, Double Stripe, both very good cards. Channel the Bleak Expanse, very good card as well. Not sure about the other two, but that's okay. And we have an Extended Art Uvia, gorgeous, a Reverse Rewind, wonderful, and a Cold Foil Quelling Robe. So not a bad box in the end, right? Not a bad box. Let's just leave that out there. Then in the other case, we had 5 Majestics again. Fog Down, very good. In cases, very good. Then we had the 2 Melty EA, Rainbow Foil Tome of Duplicity, Spellfire Cloak, Cold Foil, and another Reverse Rewind. In box 2, probably my favourite box, well, I don't know, Tumulty is quite good. Stoke the Flames EA, Spellfire Cloak, Cold Foil, Kyloria, Tome of Duplicity Rare again, Dominia, Fog Down, Congestion Point, 7 Majestics. Really good, really good. Especially Insidious Hill and Frost Hex, those are really, really strong cards to get. Then in the last box, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Majestics. Very good, very strong. Especially Dominia, Phoenix Form, Hypothermia, Firebrand, Erase Face. And then we had Extended Art, Phoenix Flame, Necria, Burn Them All, Cold Foil, and Uprising Foil. This was a very good case. I mean, no legendary, but still very, very good. Very, very good, and I expect there'll be a lot of bits in there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and of course, I probably won't be recording my 3rd case break this evening, but I might just take this with me and record it when I'm there. But I probably won't have audio on that video just because I'll be in a busy bar. So have a great day, everyone.